All right, we're back. Hey guys, what's up? So we're here to talk about Ramone Alston, a guy that escaped his prison transport in North Carolina. I'll give it a minute or two for people to join. But to catch up, today's day 3, and we're going to watch 2 press conferences. One's pretty short, like 10 minutes. The other one's, I think, 20-something minutes, almost 30. And I'm almost wondering if there's going to be another press conference today for day 3. So we'll see. I think they did it at 4 yesterday. So by the time we get through this stuff, we should be able to check for if there's a new press conference and be all caught up. Now, this whole thing, I don't know if you've heard it or not, is crazy because this guy had killed a child back in, let me see the exact date. Must have deleted that article. I remember it was 2011 or something. He killed a 1-year-old child. It was during Christmas, and he had a life sentence. For some reason, I had it in an article. It's completely gone. So he killed a 1-year-old child. And actually, let me get the picture. Do the picture here. Put that up on the screen for you guys. I believe that's a child right there. And so he had a life sentence, and he was being transported to this facility. So he was at this Birdie Correctional Institution, and he was being transferred, or not transferred, taken to for like an appointment to this UNC Gastro at Hillsborough by this hospital. And I saw an article, they were kind of questioning, like, why did they take this guy so far? Not only just take him so far, but the area apparently where they took him to was like his old hometown. This is about a 2 hour and a half drive. Kind of a long way. All the way over here. And when they took him there, up right here. Oh, 2015. I'm sorry. The girl, 1-year-old, was killed Christmas 2015. So they take this guy there, UNC Hospital in Hillsborough, August 13th. And he managed to free himself from, I guess he had leg restraints and he also had handcuffs. But apparently when he ran into the woods, he still had his handcuffs on. So he managed to get himself free. They say he was wearing a gray t-shirt, brown pants, and white New Balance sneakers. And he dipped out, gone into the woods. They believe that he has help. There's a $50,000 reward right now going on. Let me zoom into the area right here. Let's say he ran into the woods. And the timeline was 3:56 a.m. He was taken to intake at the Breda Correctional Institution. 4:07, he was put in the vehicle from the facility to the UNC Gastroenterology. And 6:50, he arrived at the UNC. They escorted him to the back of the building. So like back here, I guess. This would be yeah. All right here. So maybe back here somewhere. Take a look. The gastro place is. I wonder if that's it right there. So they took him to the back of the building, and that's when he fled. And in one of these pressers, the guy said, I think he said he knew the guy or he knew his father. Let's start up with, actually, you know what? Let's do this one first. And then we'll do the 2 press conferences.
Investigators say 30-year-old Ramone Alston jumped out of a van and ran from officers after being transported to a hospital in Hillsborough on Tuesday. The local sheriff said Alston is dangerous, saying he's known him since he was an infant. Nikki Batiste has the latest.
Known him since an infant.
More than 300 law enforcement personnel have joined the search for convicted murderer Ramone Alston after he escaped from custody more than 48 hours ago.
He's extremely cagey. He's extremely dangerous.
And here's an interesting fact that was on an article about, it says here, of all inmates who ever escaped in North Carolina since 1962, 33 were never caught. I thought that was kind of interesting. Today's day 3, guys.
He has nothing to lose.
Law enforcement say Alston escaped after he was transported from Bertie Correctional Institution to a medical appointment at the hospital on the University of North Carolina's Hillsborough campus.
It's about 2 hours. 4, 5, 6. Well, it took him a long time, I guess.
Officers say when they got to the hospital, Alston, who managed to free himself from his leg restraints, jumped out of the prison van and ran into nearby woods. According to the Department of Adult Correction, Alston's hands were still cuffed when he escaped. He was serving a life sentence for murder after being found guilty of shooting 1-year-old Malia Williams on Christmas Day in 2015 as she was playing outside her apartment building in Chapel Hill. She died 3 days later. Orange County Sheriff Charles Blackwood says he went to high school with Alston's father.
I've known Ramone since he was born. He was a troubled child, and he's been involved in criminal activity since he was a juvenile.
The sheriff alluded to potential co-conspirators who may have helped Alston with his escape, adding investigators are confident that he is no longer within a 5-mile radius of a hospital.
So I'll tell you that there are 2 leads we've got that we feel are solid, rock solid. We know you, and we're coming for you.
For CBS Mornings, I'm Nikki Batiste.
And apparently, too, the father of the child, a father signing off a man who was serving a life sentence for killing his 1-year-old daughter, escaped from officers taking him to a medical appointment. The child's father is questioning how the Department of Public Safety could have let this happen, right? Imagine that's your kid, shot and killed at 1 year old, and this guy slips through the system. We don't have any added feelings about Mr. Alston. We just displeased with the Department of Public Safety and their efforts to keep him in custody, or lack thereof. So, Christmas Day 2015, children in a Chapel Hill neighborhood were doing what most children do, play with their toys. It was a warm holiday for most of central North Carolina, which presented an opportunity for them to play outside. And Malia was one of those children. Although she was only 1 year old, Malia's mom was outside with her. She was holding her daughter as they watched the children play on. That should have been a day of celebration. That suddenly turned to tragic. Gunshots were fired into the area where children were playing outside of Trinity Court Apartments. Malia was hit by a bullet while in her mother's lap. Talina Williams told ABC 11 in 2015 that everyone started running, and then she realized her daughter was bleeding. So I don't know, I guess it was a stray bullet. Wow. She said she saw a man inside of the car started spraying bullets into the yard down below. And he just started shooting, and I started running. I felt my body being so warm, and my baby was just bleeding so much and gasping for air. I kept telling her, I love her, please don't leave me. Malia, whose nickname was Peanut, died on December 27, 2015, 2 days after she was shot. 3 men were arrested and charged in the case just a few days after the shooting. Charges were dropped against one of the suspects in February 2016. 4 years after Malia's death, in January 2019, the suspects pleaded guilty. Perry J. Brown Moore was sentenced to 24 to 34 years in prison. And Ramone, the guy that's on the loose right now, he got life. Okay, so he's on the run. That's a picture of the child and this guy on the run. And this person, we're going to watch the full press conference now. Because this person, one of these guys here, says that he's known this guy. And knew his father, apparently.
Followed by Kirby Saunders, Saunders, Orange County Emergency Services Director. And then Orange County Sheriff Charles Blackwood, both standard spellings, will also be here for any questions. Thanks again for being here.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Keith Acree, Communications Director for the Department of Adult Correction. This morning, a couple of updates for you. The United States Marshal Service is contributing an additional $10,000 to the reward amount that's not available, which now brings the total reward available to $35,000.
It's currently 50 now, but
for information that leads to the capture of Ramone Alston. In an effort to better manage the flow of information and incoming phone calls, we are providing a new phone number this morning for people calling in with information. That new number is 919-324-1082, 919-324-1082. Anyone with information about the whereabouts of Mr. Alston is encouraged to call that number, provide what they know, and that information may qualify them, may lead to a reward for them if that information leads to his capture. Thank you.
Ramone.
We're helping to coordinate both an intensive ground search effort as well as assisting in the investigative task that law enforcement is the mission that they are doing currently. As I mentioned yesterday, we searched approximately 580 acres yesterday, with an additional 100 acres or so over into the evening hours. Our focus, intention yesterday was to really focus a lot of efforts in and around the hospital area where Mr. Alston escaped from, to really assure the community that he was not there. We did not find obviously did not find Mr. Alston, and we didn't have any additional sightings in that area. It's important to note that there are really two sides to this search effort. There's the ground search effort, which are clearing known areas, residences, ravines, creeks, and things, any places he may be, while simultaneously an exhaustive investigative search also happening in the rest of the world outside of that immediate vicinity. Yesterday, in the initial response, we involved both aerial assets, helicopters, canine resources, and ground searchers, law enforcement officers, specifically trained in searching for individuals who are fleeing capture. Those canine tracks led us north of the hospital area in some areas. We followed those until the canine scents ran cold. Today's effort is to search those areas along those canine tracks to look for any what we call clues. So any signs that Mr. Alston may have been there, any footprints, any discarded remains, handcuffs, a tie, or anything that we can find that would confirm a direction of travel and how he may have evaded capture. And that is our focus today. So our law enforcement resources and searchers will be focusing north of Hillsborough, north of the UNC Hospital Hillsborough campus on the ground today, as well as assisting law enforcement in investigative functions.
Anyone have any questions?
Laura Levine here with WRAL News. We know Alston has family and friends within this area. Have they been in communication with you all? Have you been communicating with them? Are they cooperating with this investigation?
So we have made contact with some family members, yes. Cooperation has been varied.
Cooperation has been varied. So people leave this inside. I don't know if inside, but he has help. He has help. You know, people, like I said earlier in the beginning of the live, they were kind of questioning why they took him all. Supposedly, there's much closer facilities, right? They're saying they didn't have to take this guy 2+ hours away to the UNC, but that supposedly he had gotten treatment there before, so they took his ass all the way from here. When supposedly, I read some article that said there was other facilities closer. They took him back to his hometown, supposedly, where he has friends and family. And he managed to get out of his leg restraints. He still had his handcuffs on, and he just ran off. And he outran 2 of the people in the vehicle. Those 2 people, like, I guess, guards or whatever.
Anthony Wilson, the lady you see up, any idea how he was able to get out of the building's leg restriction?
There are a couple of theories. None have given us a concrete answer. We're interviewing the 2 transport officers in more detail about that, but right now we're not able to speculate exactly how they were able to be removed.
I'm Dina with CBS 17. Was his escape caught on hospital camera, and if so, will that be reviewed?
So I spoke with Chief Kelly White of the hospital police yesterday, and he allowed me to look at that video. I understand that there has been a request of the media to the hospital for that, and I'm sure that will be provided. Doesn't show a whole lot because it happens so quickly. As most of you know, the technology behind those cameras is stopgap, so all of that information is not captured. There is a very, the door opens, his foot hits the ground, and then he's out of the frame. So he was moving quickly, more quickly than the camera could capture.
Damn.
With the reward announced yesterday, have you all received an influx of information, calls? If so, do you have an estimate on how many tips?
I don't have an estimate. I can tell you that throughout the night, on up to 3 o'clock this morning, I was getting calls on my cell phone. None of them, to be honest with you, a lot of them were people that were just playing games with the phone numbers. And we expect that. We know that's going to happen. No concrete leads at this time. Again, $35,000 is a lot of money. Somebody knows out there that this was planned, and they know who's involved in it, and we hope that motivates them to do the right thing and let us know so that we can bring this to a successful conclusion and a just conclusion.
With that in mind, Sheriff, do you have any reason to believe that he may have changed his appearance or the clothing he was wearing in the last scene?
Anthony, that's quite possible.
Yeah, did Danilo Cavalcante, did he change his appearance on the run? I don't remember. I thought he changed some stuff, or no? Danilo Cavalcante, that was the last big, huge manhunt. I'd never seen a manhunt like that before. I don't know if this is going to turn out like this, but for the new people that joined, there was this article that had a statistic about North Carolina, or just some data, that since 1962, 33, out of all the inmates who've ever escaped, 33 were never caught. I wonder if those people are, I guess, still alive today, where they're at. Damn.
And I'm glad you brought that up because that's on my notes to address today. There have been some questions about what he looked like because there's so many different photographs of him. The reason there are a lot of photographs, and I understand that the Department of Corrections takes pictures of them frequently. I did not realize he had dreadlocks until yesterday when I saw that first picture. It's my understanding that when he ran, he was in dreadlocks and he had those tied back. It's quite likely and probable that he's cut those, but we don't know that. We can't say that with any degree of certainty. So I would ask the public to concentrate on the photograph of his face and all the iterations of his hair so that if...
And they're saying, this was posted 47 minutes ago. This was, these are some, they're saying this is new photos released. I might have to download them because they're pretty small, but this looks like he has those dreads in the back like he was describing maybe, but I wouldn't be surprised if he cut it off, changed his hair color, who knows.
They see him and it has changed, they'll know that it's him.
Any distinguishing marks, tattoos that might also look?
He has a very distinguishing mark tattoo on his chest, and it is the word flame, which is, I'm told, a nickname, and it's done in dots. And right in the center of that word flame is a star. Other than that, I think there's a tattoo on his right arm, niece, the word niece on his right arm. Other than that, I'm not familiar with any other tattoos, scars.
Danny Rivard with Spectrum News. Are you able to give us a timeline of when they left the jail, when they made it to the hospital, and when he actually escaped, and when the actual...
So the timeline I can give you is that he arrived, or the escape happened at 7:01 a.m. As for when he left, we're going to be back here today at 4 for our next press briefing, and unless something happens before then, and I'll have a more detailed timeline by then about, and I just wasn't prepared for that question, I apologize, for when they left, when they arrived, so forth.
It says it's a 2 hour and 34-minute drive. It's 157 miles or 155, depending which route you take.
You said that you're talking to the two transport officers. Has anybody been put on suspension or any sort of...
No, ma'am. We're offering them support.
Hey, support?
One more question, Sheriff. As you...
Why? Why are you offering them support? Like, I mean, I don't know. It's not like they were attacked or traumatized. They let some criminal go and the guy got away. Probably had help, but what? I don't know. Why you be supported?
The calls and tips that were coming in, obviously media getting them as well. We received a few that he possibly was spotted in the Timberlake area. Any belief or any substance to the fact that he could have been traveling in that direction?
So I'll say this. since he left the hospital, everything indicates a northern push. We received a call last night that he was at Big Lots in Durham. We received another call that might suggest that he was in another area in Durham. There was some discussion about him being in another part of the state. I cannot put any degree of certainty with any of those.
So they're getting a bunch of calls. Again, this is day one. We're about to watch day 2 press conference. And then we'll be fully caught up. And today's day 3. I'm kind of warning if they'll drop something soon, maybe by the end of the stream, a new press conference. But this is Durham. This is Durham right here. This is the hospital where he escaped from, the outside area. Durham's just like, looks like the town next over. And maybe this is one of the Big Lots. So there's been a couple of supposed sightings. Or is it really him? I don't know. Remember, Cavalcante had a bunch of sightings. Brian Laundrie was all over the place. He was in Canada, Mexico, on a boat, everywhere.
We do have a team that's going to some of these locations to look at cameras there. And I want to really emphasize cameras. Our neighborhoods are riddled with Ring cameras. And I just want to, plead to the public, if you're in that area of interest, it's Hillsborough, especially around the hospital in these neighborhoods, please check your Ring cams. I got one. I don't look at it every day. It doesn't give me alerts every day, but if I take the time to go back and look at what happened on Thursday, maybe I could. So I would ask the public to please do that, whether it's a Ring cam or other kind of surveillance equipment that you might have, to please check that for us and let us know. And remind everyone about the $35,000 reward. And again, remind everyone of the 911-324-919-324-1082-1082 tip line for those calls.
Got a question, Sheriff. Again, a lot of folks locally will remember Ramone Alston's name from the shooting in 2015. What have you learned from talking with your law enforcement partners about what type of person you are searching?
I went to high school with his father. I went to all school with his father, first through. And I've known Ramone since he was born. He was a troubled child, and he's been involved in criminal activity since he was a juvenile. He's extremely cagey, he's extremely dangerous, and he has nothing to lose. Thank you all very much. We appreciate you.
All right, so that's the first one. And then this was yesterday. This one has some more information.
Again, and Kirby Saunders as well, the emergency management director for Orange County.
The underground bunker. Or Brian Laundrie in the flower bed.
First, Sheriff? Okay. I'll just start off by saying we're coming to the phase of this search investigation where it's time to make a transition. The ground search phase of this is coming to a close. All the resources you've seen on the ground the past 48 hours have done an exhaustive job of searching the local area. At this point, we're pretty certain that offender Alston's not in the immediate local area. So at this point, this becomes more of a phase where we follow tips and we follow leads.
And if you remember Cavalcante, he stood, well, not stood, but he wasn't really far. I can't remember how far he was, but he wasn't that far. They kept thinking he was moving here, he was moving there, and he was kind of still after he left and figured out a spot to stay at.
And we work the investigative angle of this and respond to things that we learn. I will tell you that since the reward has been in place for the past 24 hours or so, the volume of calls coming in has been significant and steady, and a lot of folks are providing information. We're very thankful for that. We want to continue to encourage that. If you've seen something or if you know something, please come forward and share that information. That'll be a great help in helping us get offender Alston back into custody. We're very thankful to Sheriff Blackwood and all of the other agencies that have supported over the past 48 hours. The Department of Adult Correction will be taking the lead on the search. From here on, other agencies will continue to provide support, provide investigative support, but we're going to allow Sheriff Blackwood and his team to get back to their more day-to-day duties. And I'll leave it at that. Sheriff?
And that hospital facility is, they say 680 acres around the facility. Holy moly. Wow. Ooh, it's thundering outside.
So Kirby Saunders, Emergency Services Director. As Keith just mentioned, we are in the process of transitioning from a unified command approach into a single incident command with the Department of Adult Corrections taking the lead from here on. This has always been Department of Adult Corrections incident, and we surged up a lot of resources to support them and to support law enforcement and to assure the safety of our own community. We're at a point, as we've already mentioned, that the ground tactical phase of the ground searching is coming to a conclusion, and we're transitioning the coordination to Department of Adult Corrections from here on out. We will continue to stay in a posture of support, provide any resources that we can from Orange County, and support our local law enforcement agencies and Office of the Department of Adult Corrections to ensure that our community remains safe. I do want to give a couple highlights of just a summary of what we did accomplish since yesterday morning from a tactical ground perspective. Since yesterday morning, there were a total of 335 personnel on the ground involved in both a tactical search, ground search, as well as an investigative role. That incorporated, as of 2 p.m., 33 hours of continuous service searching. There are 19 agencies involved. We covered 1,335 acres as of 2 p.m. this afternoon. We feel pretty comfortable from a search standpoint that offender Alston is not in the immediate vicinity. We feel comfortable in saying that the community is not in an imminent danger or risk right now. And I will lean the sheriff to talk through what our recommendations are for going forward the next few hours.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Earlier today, I was asked about a timeline. I made a promise to you to bring that to you. At 3:56 a.m. on the day in question, Alston was transported to the Blue Housing, from the Blue Housing Unit to intake. That was at 3:56 a.m. At 4:07 a.m., he was placed in a vehicle in the Sally Port, secured in the transport vehicle, and proceeded to the facility, from the facility to UNC Hospital. At 6:50 a.m., they arrived at the hospital and were provided with appointment instructions as per protocol. 6:59, they escorted the offender to the back of the building, and as they were preparing to open the door to let him out of the vehicle, he took off and run, and that was at 7 a.m. and at 7:01 a.m. When we were notified of the escape. I'll go over that timeline one more time. 3:56 a.m., taken to intake. 4:07, placed in the vehicle. 6:50, en route. 6:59, 6:50, they arrived at the hospital. 6:59, escorted to the back of the building. 7 a.m., they opened the door. At 7:01, escape occurred. I want to reiterate the tip line, 919-324-1082. Also reiterate the $35,000 reward that's being offered. Want to reiterate the fact that we're asking people to check their ring cams, specifically with respect to changing posture. There's a couple things I want to talk about. One is the amazing hospitality offered to all of us by the Durham Tech campus and staff. President Buxton, J.B. Buxton, my gratitude goes out to he and his staff for allowing us to absolutely own that building for the last couple of days. They treated us like kings and queens and made it very comfortable for all the law enforcement agencies to work together in a partnership that everyone there in the law enforcement leadership role has said is something that they've never experienced before. And when I speak to that, I'm talking about, you always hear about the FBI or the SBI pushing back on local law enforcement or local law enforcement pushing back. That has absolutely not been the case here. Everyone has worked in a partnership, played nice in the sandbox, as everybody says. And I'm really proud of the way we've all come together and worked there. And I think having that building to work together in made a huge difference because we were with each other. We saw how hard each of us were working with one another, and that makes a huge difference. We're going to give them that university back and let those students come in and out and not have to see extreme law enforcement presence, which has been over there. I also want to thank Colonel Freddie Johnson of the Highway Patrol for giving us air support and giving us ground support with the troopers that were available the day of. All the law enforcement agencies within this county responded in a really a great way and helping us with an extreme event, and they did that in a fine fashion. The North Carolina Sheriff's Association, again, Eddie Caldwell putting the Helping Sheriffs Network together over the last 2 days, has provided us a tremendous amount of staffing. We've got deputies from 7 counties that have been working with us. And they came in with no questions asked, ready to go, ready to take an assignment, get in the woods, do what they had to do. And they spent a great deal of time walking in the woods today, and it's been kind of warm, so we really appreciate that. But our local law enforcement, again, even so much as Chapel Hill Police coming up to help us, and Carborough taking the calls for Chapel Hill Police while they were helping us. It's been a joint effort. And, you know, people say a whole lot about the great sheriff. The sheriff's not the sheriff without the people that have been together over the last couple of days. So we really appreciate that. What tomorrow will look like will be slightly different. We're probably not going to have a press conference unless something big happens. We will be in touch with you. Alicia Stemper, my PIO, will be shooting out press releases as the day goes on. But we won't be having these pressers like we've been having unless something does occur. What it's going to look like around our office is we're going to be able to get back to work as usual with the Department of Adult Corrections taking over. We're grateful to them for the staff that they provided and the way that they've helped us over the last couple of days help them. We are, however, going to have them in our facility. Our patrol room is going to be turned into our intel unit, and the FBI, the Department of Adult Corrections, and all the other workers that are working so hard and diligently right now on intel will be working out of my office there. Our command staff, our command branch rather, will be operating out of my office suite, what I call my round table, and that will be reduced from about 27 people down to about 4 or 5. So smaller footprint, still doing the work that we've been doing, but in hopefully a much more efficient manner and with less intrusion on our partners in the county. So having said that, I think I've covered everything from the phone cams. I want everybody to check their doorbells, cameras, know that there's a reward out there, know what the number is to call in case they've got a tip. And I will tell you that the tip line has been full this afternoon, which is really good. I don't know the quality of the calls that are coming in, but I know that the content has been elevated. So that's really a good thing, and we hope we stumble across a nugget while we're doing that. With that, I will just, and I wanted to say, too, to my staff that's with me, my command staff, some of them are with me today, and I just appreciate them and their support.
Yeah, Sheriff Blackwood. Sheriff Blackwood, I know they said they don't believe that he's in the immediate area. Is there reason to believe that he's not in the state?
There has been a few leads that suggest that he may not be in the state. There are also some leads that suggest that he is in the state.
What would you say to people who are nervous about this and not in our area?
Same thing I said the other day. I think everybody needs to be concerned about their safety every day. I cannot pinpoint an area to tell a certain group of people in a certain neighborhood or state that they need to be on a heightened level right now. I don't, that mark has got to be at about 90% for me. So, you know, the level of care that you need to take and being aware of your surroundings always ought to be kind of elevated, but I can't tell one county or state or city to elevate more than another right now because I'm not at that 90% mark.
Is there any update right now on how he got out of the leg restraint?
So there's not, again, and I don't want to get into the logistics of how folks escape, but I will tell you that folks who've been incarcerated and are used to wearing these things know tricks that they can do to make them work for them, and we probably think that's what occurred here.
I had a question specifically for you, Keith, as it relates to the Department of Adult Corrections. I might have missed this yesterday, but the guns in the transport vehicle, they're kept in lockboxes, correct?
No. The officers had their weapons on them, and regulations, procedures at the hospital allow them.
Maybe they should have shot him. No, I'm just kidding.
To carry those into the hospital with them, and they were prepared to do that.
Okay, was there any chance that they had a chance to draw those weapons?
But then if you shoot him, then they cancel you. How good he was unarmed, and his back was turned. Yeah, he killed a child, but still.
I think from what the sheriff has explained to you, this all happened so quickly there wasn't a chance to do that.
Okay, and then one more question I have is kind of a follow-up. So we had a few people ask, so this guy's in Bertie County with a partnership with UNC Health. I'm pretty sure there's some healthcare facilities on the eastern part of the state. How has the situation prompted the Department of Adult Corrections to review future transport to prevent this from happening?
There are a lot of factors we're going to look at in the after-action review, and certainly that'll be one factor. A lot of people have asked about, why do we treat in Hillsborough all the way from Bertie County? Part of that, there's two reasons for that. One is he had received care here before, and this was a follow-up appointment to see the same providers he had seen before. When he received care the first time, he was not housed in Bertie County, he was housed somewhere else. And second part of that is we have contractual arrangements with different medical hospitals and different medical care providers to provide certain types of care. UNC Hospitals provides for us a wide variety of specialty services, and they happen to do that for us here in Hillsborough.
Thank you.
Through the Department of Corrections, what you were able to review so far, have you found any indication, whether it was phone calls or anything from when he was in custody, connections, conversations with people outside of the facility that might have been planning this?
Not yet. Those are all things we're looking at, obviously. Like I said, information has been rather limited, but we're looking at all those avenues, exhausting all of those investigative means we have. We don't want to share everything we know at this point for obvious reasons, but we're working on that.
We've heard about. Are there going to be more charges added to him now that he's escaped?
So he's been charged with felony escape, which is a crime were he to be convicted, he would have added to his additional sentence. He already has a life sentence anyway, but this would be something on top of that.
I didn't mean to interrupt, I'm sorry. I didn't know if he had a history of trying to escape in the past in custody.
I'm not aware of any other prior escape attempts for him. He does have a long criminal record, but none of those are escape attempts to my knowledge.
Heard about an arrest out of Charlotte, a man in a stolen Charger. Any reason to believe that could be connected to Mr. Alston?
I don't believe that is. No.
Sheriff, you mentioned earlier that you said earlier somebody knows out there that this was planned. Do you still believe that as of this afternoon?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Regarding the search of businesses' homes, have you seen any video from any homeowners, Ring camera, any business since the escape yesterday?
No, we had someone call us and say that they thought they had captured him on their Ring camera, but it was not him. One other thing I want to go back to, we mentioned the fact that he's being charged with a crime. I want to make one thing very clear to anyone out there that was involved in helping him. The aiding and abetting in the escape of an inmate such as this is a Class H felony. And if we can prove that you were involved in this, you're going to be charged. And just want everybody to think about that while that $35,000 is hanging out there.
Sheriff, have you had a chance to speak with the family of that one-year-old little girl who sadly was killed on Christmas Day? How are they feeling?
So I have not personally had a chance to speak with any of the family members. However, one of the aunts is a very dear friend of my daughter, and they have had communications, and I can tell you that they're reliving this, and they're hurting all over again. And, while that little girl is not with us anymore, and nobody has really paid attention to that fact, a lot of people are focusing on the acts of this criminal, and that's hurtful.
For the Department of Corrections, was there a failure in procedure after what you were able to review?
No, there wasn't.
Security footage?
Not that we're aware of at this time.
Sheriff, you had a significant number of deputies from 3 agencies at Home Depot this afternoon or this morning. Was there something in that area that brought that many officers there to search the woods and the railroad tracks?
No, Tammy. We had a significant number of deputies across the entire county from a number of agencies. And I'm going to do my best, Tina. You're going to help me. Chatham, Person, Durham, Alamance, Vance, ALE, that's Alcohol Law Enforcement, UNC Hospital Police, Chapel Hill Police was with us yesterday. I will say that while they were here, of course, Carborough was covering that. What we have done, did I miss anyone? Hillsborough Police also, I'm sorry, and Highway Patrol. These missions are given out with a degree of, Kirby, I'm going to ask you to come in and explain the percentages and when our guys go out into the field, they bring back a form. And that form has certain questions which lead us to tell whether or not there's a probability that something might be in that area. And then we take that, feed it into this database, and it tells us a map of places we ought to be checking. So the social media experts on Facebook that are out there telling us where we need to be looking need to really pay attention to what Kirby's getting ready to share with you.
Yeah, so to answer your question, Tammy, what those deputies are doing at Home Depot, that was just a drop-off and pick-off point for their assignments that morning. So they were focusing on the railroad track adjacent to the Home Depot area. 2 different teams, one going north, one going south. As I mentioned this morning, we were focusing our attention on canine tracks that led us north of this sighting, and that was in the vicinity of where those tracks kind of went cold at. So we had tasked 2 different teams to go to those areas to look for what we call article searches. In that aspect, we were looking for any clues that lead us to show that person was there, whether it be discarded clothing, a piece of the handcuffs or chains, a footprint, any evidence that he may have changed his appearance. I know that was a question this morning. So those were the things we were looking for. In any search mission or search operation, we break kind of this really big area, and in this case could be really the rest of the world, as the sheriff said yesterday, into really bite-sized small chunks that we can easily manage. And so we grouped teams of resources as they're available and prioritized in certain areas. Obviously we know where he went missing from, so that's our primary starting point, or where he escaped from. And then we have dogs, we have helicopters, we have a variety of resources to help kind of break this really big area into really small chunks and prioritize our resources, where we assign those resources. So we always put resources in the areas that are most likely to yield a result. In this case, hopefully a find. But at the very minimum, all of our teams are instructed that beyond just looking for an individual that's fleeing from you, we're looking for clues that are going to lead us to their whereabouts or provide answers to questions like how they may have escaped or where they may be headed.
Facebook groups.
So that's in summary how we do every search mission. We use statistical data and analysis from countless of these type of scenarios to give us good intelligence and information. Statistically speaking, about 80% of successful escapees, people who have escaped custody, 80% of those cases they've been located within 18 miles of where they were left, where they escaped. So it's a very big area. That incorporates most all of Orange County, half of Alamance County, and most of Durham County. That would take us months, if not years, to search 18 miles, look for a needle in the haystack. So we tend to develop 2 simultaneous operations: extensive ground searches, looking for the individual, looking for clues that lead us to the individual, simultaneously running a very robust investigative function to gather intelligence.
So I'm guessing they didn't get too many updates today then, if they haven't gone live today. I think they went live one morning and then one afternoon, I think. Those are the times.
Gather information
so far.
Known accomplices, who they may have talked to. And that's in both escape situation like this and someone who's missing, just a general search and rescue type of operation. So those both go hand in hand. The real difference in transition here is we're moving from the less physical out visible in the wooded areas where someone could be hunkered down and laying low or hiding. We've kind of cleared that area where somebody would do that. And we move those resources into that more investigative role. If that helped make sense. But
I know you said that you believe that this was planned. Any reason to believe that you may have had an ally within law enforcement that helped with this?
None whatsoever. None whatsoever.
Don't think you had any help?
So,
what was it? Or did he say inside
the folks that we believe and the information that we're receiving right now are pointing us in a couple of different directions. And again, You see us every day. You do not see that room full of intel experts that are working. I had one of the SACs from the FBI call me when this thing jumped off and said, how much help do you need and what do you need? And I just said, I need what you can send. The room's full. I've got probably 8 or 9 of our deputies, our investigators who work this type stuff all the time, the technological end of it, working on this, and they have been working nonstop. I'm talking overnight, through the night, into the morning. All these leads are being followed up on, all the technology is being dove into, and it takes time to unload all that stuff and to be able to go through it. So again, my staff, the Chief Deputy of Administration, Tina Sykes, Stephen Shaw, Captain over the Patrol Division, and my Chief Deputy of Operations, Kevin Jones, have been keeping all that stuff running, and Alicia's been writing it all down and telling it back to you guys. So I'm blessed to have a very capable team, a very talented team, and a very dedicated team, and it's allowed us to get to the point we are right now. And I'm going to tell you, we feel good about this investigation. We feel good that, you know, the numbers that Kirby's reporting to you, about 80% are found within 18 miles in a week or so. We've missed the 24-hour, the 12-hour, but we feel good. We feel good about where we are. The other thing about these data sets that reveal this information is almost everything that it says about this type of incident has been on point. Daylight, 30 years old, 31. Everything that we have found has pointed to Mr. Alston. So we feel that that's accurate and it's going to lead us to a successful conclusion.
Once he's caught,
The information that's in the database?
how will he be housed going forward? Is he going to be moved to a higher security prison?
I'll let the chief talk to that, but we're saying maximum security.
Yeah, certainly that's our standard protocol when someone comes back from an escape like this, is they go back to our highest security level, usually at Central Prison in Raleigh, and we'll deal with them from there.
So I'll tell you that there are 2 leads we've got. I'm not going to tell you what they are, that we feel are solid, rock solid.
That was yesterday. I heard nothing today.
And that's a teaser to the folks out there that know what's going on and know that they were involved in it. We know you and we're coming for you.
What would you define as this immediate area where you believe he's not in right now? Is it that 1 to 2 mile radius?
We're confident he's not within a 5-mile radius. Thank you all.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Sorry.
Can you estimate the distance between the transport vehicles and the nearby woods, about how much distance it is?
So the nearby woods is not the problem. Once he exited the vehicle, and I want to explain something. If I were to take off in a dead run right now, everyone here would be, oh my goodness. Your brain takes a few minutes to analyze what just occurred. And I want you to think about what these transport people do every day that they come to work. They transport inmates to and from places all over this state.
So what? That's what they do. That's the job.
Now, a long time ago, when I was a very young deputy, I was kidnapped by a prisoner that I was transported at gunpoint. I know what that OODA loop, or that slow down of the brain feels like. I know what it feels like to say, why are those handcuffs in the floorboard? I just put them on that guy. And your brain has to analyze that. So you've got to consider what happened when he ran. They were not expecting that. They weren't ready for that. And they took off. We don't know the conversation they had on the way over.
Man, I wish I could see that video. If they had the video for that.
Over here. And to condemn those folks for what they've been doing and what they were doing is just wrong. That man had a plan, and there was nothing that they could do to know it. And we hate it all happened. And yes,
I know that's tough to run with handcuffs, though, right? Probably is. Maybe their hands kind of together.
we're analyzing what took place to make sure that we try to ensure that it doesn't happen again. And we talked about a lot of stuff today about what we could do better next time. But that's the beauty of this, is that no one was hurt severely, and hopefully nobody gets hurt while this criminal is on the loose, and we can get him back into custody and take things to a different level. But then you've got the parking lot is just like this one, and you've got bare grass that's...
Sandwich said, now our tin hats are on. He knew the guy since he was an infant.
You know, makes the hospital look pretty. And then you've got glass windows to the... hospital. So you've got surroundings that create an environment where those officers couldn't take any evasive action other than
get in the car and ram him, or just drive right next to him. Oh, I guess he ran into the woods, though.
To give chase. And you got a young man who's intent on getting away and not getting captured, and they're doing the best they can. And that's what they did.
Okay. They did. There was this link, supposedly some 911 call released. Let me pull that up real quick. I don't want to work. Why don't you want to work, man? It's weird. Like some links don't want to work on the computer anymore. What happened? All right, I have to copy it, I guess. Or let me go here. It's useless. Okay, here we go.
Into the chaotic.
And the moments after an inmate escaped from a Hillsborough hospital. I'm Jeff Hogan.
And I'm Renee Chu. Thanks for joining us. 911 calls give some insight into the chaotic situation when Ramone Alston escaped.
Oh, Timothy, thank you for the 7 months. I appreciate that. Thank you for resubscribing.
WRL's Sean Gallagher.
Oh, and forget to help me out with the like button. I forgot to say that. Helps out the algorithm.
Is live at the Orange County Sheriff's Office with the latest. Sean.
Yeah, Renee, when the sheriff gave us the timeline of events yesterday, he said it all happened so fast. 1 minute, Ramone Alston was in custody, and the very next minute, he was gone. And here are the moments directly after that happened, the 911 call announcing he had escaped.
We are notifying our units. Where was the last place exactly he was seen? Where was he running from? What door? Where was he?
He's running from the hospital emergency room.
Okay, which door? Is it the emergency room door?
Yes, right here in the back. We were going to pull him out.
Sound like you're using like a voice over thing, like those voice muffler shit. That's what it sounds like.
Vehicle. Room door?
Yes, right here in the back. We were going to pull him out the vehicle. He got his cuff on. He can't go that far.
We were getting ready to pull him out of the vehicle. He's got cuffs on. So, those are the cops in the car, I guess. I mean, the guards.
He just took off running.
Now, all of this sparked a 33-hour ground search for Alston, but he vanished. Crews from 19 different law enforcement agencies were involved from across the state, and now they're switching to more of an intelligence investigation, and we've just learned that they've increased the reward for tips to $50,000. Now, the DOC tells me the officers who were involved in this transport are still actively working. They tell me there's no indication at this time that they did anything improper. Sean Gallagher, WRAL News, Hills.
Of course they didn't. Here's another clip from, how much time we got? We still got a little time. We have another stream on the third page for those that are interested in the Trump press conference. I don't know what he's going to say, what's going to happen. Is he going to snap, pop, crackle, pop?
After a full-day search yesterday around the UNC Hillsborough campus, they are now expanding the search area for 30-year-old Ramone Alston. He was serving life behind bars for the shooting. Say he was being transported to a hospital when he escaped his shackles and ran into nearby woods. As of today, the award has increased to $50,000. It's being offered for any information leading to his arrest. NewsNation's Caitlin Becker joins us live in North Carolina. Caitlin, are authorities any closer to catching him?
No.
Well, they may be, Nicole. Now, the search still continues, but I can tell you that the Orange County Sheriffs have confirmed to us that the ground search, that boots on the ground looking through all of this wooded area, that phase of the investigation has concluded. So now they're really kind of honing in on what sheriffs say are two rock-solid leads. At a press conference yesterday, they indicated that they know who is essentially aiding and abetting, and the sheriff said it was a teaser and that they were going to be coming after them. Then, of course, they upped this reward to $50,000. Now, that could indicate that they might be getting desperate, or it may indicate that they're trying to entice someone who they know knows something to come forward and give them a heads up. Now, Ramone Alston does have deep ties to this area. He does have family here. Police believe that he is being assisted by someone or certain persons, but they didn't indicate one way or the other who that may be. But I will tell you that we went by some of his relatives' homes yesterday, and there was a police presence out front of his brother. So the investigation is certainly ongoing, but that ground search is over.
Wow. Ground search is over. Well, at least we're all caught up. So if something breaking happens, we're ready to jump on it That's why I wanted to kind of leave one notification open on this page in case. There's two things that were supposed to happen because I want to see that Taco Bell, that situation, press conference. Somebody said there was going to be a press conference. I don't know if it's true, if it's happening.
Kids Guide for press.
That situation last night, we streamed it. There was a lot of people there, and there was this. The only thing that we know about the incident is that the person. I've heard two stories. It was a Taco Bell drive-thru. Somebody pulls up behind somebody else, gets out of the vehicle, shoots the driver, and then shoots themselves. And then the other version I heard was that the person got out of the car, walked up to the car ahead of them, and that there was two people in the car and shot both of them and then shot themselves. I heard two different versions of the story. And then I heard all these mixed things from locals that I saw on Facebook, people talking about they heard the incident or they saw the incident. Somebody claimed that the guy wasn't in a car but walked over from Walmart. Apparently there's a Walmart close by, like the guy was like stalking her, but other people claiming that this person got out of the car. So I don't know. I really want to know what's the deal with that. Did this person know them? Did they not? Why do this? Crazy. Another non-related stuff, just real quick, because we were talking about this on the last stream about the Olympics. They got rid of break dancing. But they're bringing in, get this, you ain't gonna believe this. They're bringing in flag football. Wow, flag football. What the hell? That's some bullshit I used to play. And then we played tackle after. But after a while, I was like, yo, I'm not trying to get beat up. This is too much. So after I saw there was these two, the last time I played was, it was high school, and I was out there, I came to Florida, and there was these two kids, twins. We used to go out on the field and play. These two kids done ran into each other, like head-butted each other. I don't know what they were thinking. One had the ball, and the other one, so boom, collided. It like flew back and shit. It was this whole dramatic thing. Both bleeding and gushing blood out of their heads, and their parents came to the field. I think it was the mother was cursing, you motherfucker, cursing us out, everything. I'm like, oh, that was the last time I played. But flag football, I guess maybe to make everybody feel like, hey, well, I can play this shit. Fuck it. You played till you were 33? Hell no, I was a lot younger. I think I was 17 or 18, maybe, something like that. But flag football, I'm surprised. That's going to be an Olympic thing. Flag football is one of the two sports set to make their debut in 2028 Olympic Games. Oh, it's in Los Angeles. Wow. The non-contact variant of American football will feature men's and women's medal events, and with the team playing 5 versus 5 on a 50-yard pitch. So, I don't know. It might be fun to watch, but I don't know. I guess they're trying to make it so that other people can join, like people that maybe are not so, like, I don't know, athletic or specialty field. I mean, everybody, your mama can go play some flag football, I guess, now in the Olympics. Your mama. All right, let me check if there's anything else real quick. So we're going to keep an eye on this story for sure. I want to know about this Taco Bell incident. There's 2 trials that are going on that I want to peep in. Maybe tomorrow I'll schedule something. I still want to leave stuff available, notifications, in case any of these 2 stories pop up. Today's the 15th. We got that. I don't have anything written down for tomorrow. So maybe we can do one of these trial things tomorrow, catch up. Everyone's a winner. Anyone can play. Kickball. Activision shuts down Modern Warfare 2. I guess that's it for now. That was a decent stream. All right, and make sure you subscribe to the other channels, please, especially the Chase channel. If you don't like the politics stuff, I completely understand that. But sub to the Chase channel. Removing all the chases over there. Trying to keep it in one place. Standoffs, I might stick to the main. Or I might vary it. or alternate, I should say. Alternate between, depending on notifications and stuff, but Chase is over there. The bot's not working. Perfect. I love it. I mean, what happened? Things don't even, oh, there we go. Turn it on again. Yeah, I'll cover the Kohlberger trial. I'll cover it for sure. Doesn't want to work. Turn it back on. The Chase channel. I'm gonna try. The bot should drop in a second if it works. There's 3 stories. I want to find out about the guy that was gonna jump off the bridge. He got arrested, but he handed himself in. But I've been checking his Facebook, and he hasn't done any updates. So I want to check the Facebook guy. Manhunt, Taco Bell situation. I was able to run faster than police officers. Do you guys remember there was this lady that tried to escape out of a facility that she was in? It's that lady that killed the guy. She was with the guy, but things weren't working out, and so he was with some other woman, and so she was really jealous and hated this woman. I don't remember that lady's name. She actually ran from cops. She almost got away. Prisoner runs from cops. The cops, the popo. Damn, what's that lady's name? I know somebody knows. August 29 is a venue change. Okay, I'm not even. There's too many little trial or hearings for Kohlberger. I stopped following again. Lady. It's that lady that supposedly got face surgery. She tried to run away. The bicyclist, yeah. Maybe if I type that in. Okay, fine. Let me do a Google. Bicyclist killer. How about that? Her name, it just escapes me. Caitlin, yeah, Caitlin. Caitlin what? Caitlin Armstrong. There we go. Wow. Let's see if I can pull up the video of her running. Running from cops. It's weird. Taking long to load. Oh no, don't tell me I got cut. Okay, I thought the internet cut off. The weather's crazy outside right now. There we go. I want the... Is there an extended version? We got a full video or something? Weird. What? Let me try something else. Maybe it's Chrome. Don't even want to close out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's Maybelline. Weird. Or maybe it's YouTube. You're offline. You guys still see me? Maybe it's the weather, Meyer. Yeah, maybe. Karen, maybe people, maybe they're DDoSing me. It's not working. It's so weird. You guys still see me? Okay. Don't tell me. I don't know, bro. That's so weird. It's not loading. Let me see something. Down meter. YouTube can't be down though. I'm live streaming. Down meter detector. I don't know. Nothing's really loading. I did the reload. Yo, yeah, Woody's back. Woody got to go. It's too much at this point. They're still doing Woody, right? I don't know. I guess I have to do a little computer restart. What's going on? Yeah, I guess I'll have to call it for now. Maybe I should just restart the computer. Surprised we're still connected. You're able to play the video? Yeah, it's just on my end then. All right, well, we'll call it for now because I have to get ready for the next stream. I'm just gonna restart the computer. Maybe I'll restart the modem too. And I'll see you guys on the third channel, whoever's coming. All right. Bye. Bloop, bloop.